Okay, so I just posted a couple videos where I opened mystery boxes from Discmania, the black box, which came with the Crush Brothers staple labeled C-Line CD1. Kind of a neat disc. Don't know if I'm going to put it in the bag or save it for now. I'm not sure yet. I might throw it for a little while. But I also had a Stratosphere box, which I wasn't paying close attention. This was hidden in there. I was a little disappointed in the overall, but this is an amazing looking disc, first of all. From the pure numbers and from the reviews, it looks like a disc and it feels like a disc I should put in my bag, but it's awfully pretty. So I don't know. I might set it aside and save it. I haven't decided yet. I'm definitely going to throw it a few times just to see the feel, but that is such a nice looking disc. It's pretty cool. So I thought I'd re-review or just kind of show you all the discs that I got in my mystery boxes, as well as it's going to be a little bit longer video, but as well as my bag and some of my reserve discs that I haven't been using. Some of them I haven't been using because I think they look nice. Some of them I haven't been using because they're glow discs that I'm kind of in the process of building a bag for glow. I don't know if I'll ever even play it. And then some I just don't need right now. So here we go. First, here's three of my 6 glow discs that I have. This is an MVP and this is an Axiom. This is a the MVP is a Inertia, which is like a fairway driver, and the Axiom is an Insanity, which is this is a mid-range and this is a fairway driver. This is a kind of lower speed fairway driver from Discmania. It's a Rockstar. That's also a glow. And then I also have another MVP glow that is a mid, and then this mid Magician glow from Discmania. So I got at least those 5 mid glow discs. I don't have a glow putter that I can think of right now, but we'll keep going. All right, from my box, or boxes, I should say. I actually got a few discs that I'm just not that impressed with, but a lot of discs that I'm happy about. So here's the stack. This is, I mentioned already, the Crush Boys stamp. Now that Simon Lazat's gone, maybe a collector's item someday. C-Line CD1 Special Edition. I might not ever throw that. Now the CD1 is like a overstable or stable fairway driver, which I have lots of. I just don't know if I need to throw it, but it's kind of a cool disc. Maybe I'll store that one. This is an Evolution Enigma. It's a 12 speed 5 glide. That might go in my bag, but it's awfully pretty. I almost hate to throw it. That's kind of a cool disc, so I might hold off on that one. I don't know if I really need that right now. I actually have a Discmania Thrasher, which I'll show you in a minute. I'm sorry, Discraft Thrasher, that is a little more understable than that I throw really well, that I found. I don't really feel like I need to save it, so I might keep this in the bag and put away for now. This is that Stratosphere Horizon DD1. That's such a nice looking disc. I just don't know if I'm going to throw it right now. I might save that. So those 3 discs are probably the 3 best discs that came in the bag, or in the mystery boxes. But I'm just not sure I'm willing to throw them because I don't know. If I lose a disc and I need it, maybe I'll use those to replace it. We'll see. This is a MD3. I'm not going to look up all the numbers again like I did in my last video, but I'm going to definitely test that out. I don't have a black disc in my bag right now because frankly, in Michigan, especially in the fall with the dark colored leaves, it's hard to pick up. So I might throw that maybe in the winter. Right now it's actually snow on the ground, so we'll see. This is a PT D-line P2. That's going in the bag. I'm going to try putting with that. I'm not going to use it for an approach putter. I'm going to use it for a make putter. I like that one. This is a 5-speed, 5-glide, mid-range method. Neoplastic. I'm going to test it out. I have several mid-range discs, and I'll show you those in a bit that I'm happy with. This one seems to be slightly overstable, so I don't think I have anything that I need to replace that with. This is a Logic putter, hard EXO. I do not have such a stiff putter, and I can definitely think of applications for that. Slightly overstable, 330-1. I'm going to definitely test that out and try putting with it. That might go in the bag as well. So, 2 putters in the bag, 2 discs that I'm going to test that are both kind of mid-range, and we'll see if they replace something else. This is a Powerline PD 10-speed 4-glide 03, so an over-stable 10-speed driver. This might be what I've been looking for. This disc is definitely going in the bag. I'm definitely going to try to learn to throw it. I have a couple of overstable discs that I like. I have a MVP Relativity, but that's a 14-speed, and I can't quite get it to do everything I want. I can throw a really good hyzer and even a skip, like a hyzer with a skip. I can throw it real flat, but I cannot get it to flex, even if I throw an hyzer. And then I have a Latitude 64 Halo, which I can get to flex. It's a high speed, but I think it's closer to like a 12 or 14 speed. And that is an overstable disc, and I can get it to flex a bit. I've actually thrown it really well a few times. This might be that in between that speed might be perfect for my arm speed. So I'm definitely looking forward to testing that one. So those 3, I think almost for sure are going in the bag. Now this is another putter. It's a P2 Special Edition Flex 3. This is a stiffer P2 than this one, I think. A little bit different feel, really. And so I guess I'll test them out and see which one I like better. Different plastic. This is D-line Flex 2. This is Flex 3. They call it a special edition for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe because it's got swirls. But I'm gonna throw them both and see which one I like. But probably just one of these 2 is gonna go in the bag. But I don't know. We'll see. This is a Tactic, which I'm gonna definitely test. I don't see it replacing anything. This is definitely, I don't see this replacing anything, but I'm going to test it out. This is just a Sensei, which is like a base putter. I learned my first kit was a Discmania kit. I'm sorry, a dynamic disc kit with all prime plastics, and it worked fine, but I outgrew it, and I can tell the difference. This is a base plastic. Sensei. So this is probably going to go into a kit that I make for people that want to try out disc golf with me. I have plenty of discs to fill 1, maybe even 2 bags of where I just don't really mind what happens to them. So that one's not going in the bag. This is an Instinct 7-speed 5, 0, and 2. I don't see this going in the bag. I'm going to throw it a couple times just to see if I'm missing something on this. Maybe I want to use it to replace one of my understable. This is not understable. One of my fairway drivers. I'm just not convinced yet. I do have a stable fairway driver that somebody recommended to me. Actually, several people said it was unbelievable. It's a long glide. It's called the Latitude 64 Saint. Many of you probably know what it is. That just does not do what I thought it was going to do. It's the one I have is a really pretty plastic. It's really neat looking. I'll show it to you. I might sunset that disc for now. So far, I have not thrown it more than maybe one time where I was really happy with the flight. So maybe this replaces that. We'll see. This is called a Splice. This one is almost for sure going in the bag. It's a overstable distance driver. It's probably a speed 9. It's got such an interesting lip dynamic that I'm just looking forward to throwing it and seeing how it feels. Well, I'm going to put it in my test pile for sure. I'm not totally convinced yet. This is a mutant. Almost for sure I will not be throwing this. I'll test it out. But I don't like the feel of the rim, frankly. It kind of feels like my Compass, but not as good. I feel like I'd have to fan grip this. So maybe for some touch approach shots. Maybe if something goes wrong with my Compass. This is more overstable. Right now that's not going in the bag. This is my FD3. That is a nice disc. I'm going to test it. I think that might go in the bag. And this is the Taylor. It's a 4-speed, 4-glide, mid. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for. I have a Meteor and that Compass, like I said, that I use a lot for all my stable mid shots. 200 approach. I can actually do some finesse work with both those discs, more the Compass. Maybe I hold this in reserve until I see if I lose one of those other discs. So this is going to go in the not in. So 3 unbelievable discs that I'm probably not going to use yet. I'm probably going to display those. By display, I just mean put away. 4 discs, including, well, actually really only 3 discs, but I'm going to choose one of these putters. Are almost for sure going in the bag. And then several discs that I'm looking forward to trying, but I'm not convinced that they're going to go in the bag. We'll see. And then a couple of, we'll just call them reserves. So in the meantime, these are going to go in my storage boxes. This one, these will go in my, I'll put them in here. Set these aside. All right, a couple of discs that I just keep in storage. This is a first run Paige Pierce Passion. I don't really follow FPO that much. I feel maybe a little guilty about that, but I don't follow it that much. But that's a cool disc. 8-speed, 5-glide. I've never thrown it. One day I will. But I like the feel on it, but I've never thrown it. This is a Gyropalooza 2021. This is called an Inertia, I think. It's hard to read on the rim. I should just color that over. I'm sorry, this is an uplink. Duh. This is the uplink. Based on the numbers, I'll probably like throwing that, but I just haven't needed it yet. So I'm going to just keep that. So that goes in my stack of stuff that I'm going to hold in reserve for the time being. Now, into my bag. This is what I've been throwing. There's 2 discs I'm actually going to probably pull out based on what I just got. This is my Latitude 64 Gold Saint. Again, this is a very pretty disc. It's fine, but it does not glide like everybody says it does for me. I probably just haven't learned how to throw it yet. But I don't know, it doesn't have to be in my bag right now. And then this is my Streamline Drift Understable Fairway. It throws good. I throw it good, but I just like the look of the disc. I don't have to have it in my bag. I don't really want to lose it right now. It's not really a workhorse disc for me. So I'm gonna maybe put that away for now, and then possibly replace both of those. There's only really one understable Like that Stratosphere would be perfect, but I don't really want to throw that yet. All right, so here's my putters and mids and approach. This is a MVP. I believe this one is called the Reactor. Overstable. I like this disc. It tends to hold a hyzer angle. I think the Reactor, let's look up the numbers real quick. I think the Reactor is actually considered a mid, like maybe a 5-speed. Yeah, 5-speed, 5 glide. It actually says that it's a 0.5 turn and a 1.5 fade. This one seems way more overstable than that. I can get it to glide and throw straight, but when I throw it on a hyzer angle, it just holds a hyzer super solid. That's a good disc. That's one of my go-to mids. This is my Meteor, Swirl ESP Meteor. It's a 2018 disc. I bought it used actually. I didn't know if I would like this disc or not, but now that I've been throwing it, this is one of my go-to woods discs where I can just throw it straight, fairly hard, and kind of get the activity that I'm looking for. And this compass, so these three the compass, the Meteor, and that Reactor, I use a lot. I can do different things with it. Obviously these two are stable. I throw them straight. This one I tend to use as an overstable disc. And then this Keystone I tend to use as an understable disc. 7-speed, 5 glide. It does turn first. Even though the numbers wouldn't indicate that it turns hard, this one does tend to turn pretty well. And I would say the 7-speed is a little bit deceiving. It's hard for me. I can definitely overthrow this disc. Yeah, I have to use the right speed. When I throw this disc well, it does some things in my bag that I can't seem to duplicate other places. I use it kind of as because I don't really have a super strong forehand. I have an approach forehand that I can throw 200, but I can't guide it and I can't get it to stay on an anhyzer turn or an understable turn. So I use that one, and I also use this 5-speed Tarsus, which is another mid. So those are my mids that I use the most. And believe it or not, I throw a Magician too, which is a 6-speed. That's a utility disc for me. So if you look at this stack, each one has kind of a purpose. And frankly, they all kind of do their job in a fine way. So those are, actually I have a couple other mids that I'll show you here that I throw. And I'll show you why. This is my Verdict from Dynamic Discs, unstamped Verdict. The Verdict is like a 7-speed or 8-speed. It goes straight and then hyzers off. This one does something similar, but it's a little bit longer hyzer line. They're not interchangeable. I throw them, I kind of got to get a feel based on the layout of the hole, but I do use those. These two are my understables, the Tarsus and the Keystone, my very stables, and I tend to use this as an overstable for more of a sweeping hyzer. This is a disc I found. It's a Thought Space Athletics Pathfinder. It's a mid, I believe it's a 7-speed. This thing just floats straight for a long time. And then a little bit of a fade out. I really like this disc. I'm still kind of learning different things I can do with it. I didn't know anything about Thought Space. I recently learned that MVP stamps for them, and I like MVP stuff. But this is I've been using this disc more and more. The Truth, I actually think this is actually a prime or burst plastic or prime plastic Truth. I keep this in my bag for situations where I got to cover water or I might lose it and I really don't care. This one does similar stuff to the, I have this Verdict in my bag. Sometimes it's more consistent, frankly. I would not mind replacing this or moving this into a starter kit for somebody else. But if I haven't found quite the disc that does exactly this. And again, because it's prime plastic, I don't really care. I actually have another prime plastic disc that I really use for straight shots where I'm trying to cover water or I could lose it easily in difficult situations. This fuse is more understable than it looks. It's a 5/6 glide -1. This will hold an anhyzer line very well. I use this a lot for right turns. I currently have a sapphire in my bag. I haven't been using it really. I was just experimenting. I learned on a sapphire. It's one of the first discs I started throwing. And but I think my arm speed is actually too fast for it now. I haven't been. I used to be able to get it to flex pretty well. This just kind of dies now. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm gonna keep that going. I almost for sure will not be. Putters. This is a Link. I'm planning on replacing this almost for sure with that PD2. This one's getting a little beat up. It's actually kind of twisted up. It's a little inconsistent with its flight. This will probably go in a kit for a beginner. This is my anode. This is probably my primary putting putter. Sometimes I get hot with it. Sometimes I get really frustrated with it. And this is my Judge. I'm pulling this out of the bag. I'm not real happy with the Judge. This one's a little deformed. I learned on another dynamic disc putter. I can't think of the name of it right now. And frankly, they're just kind of duds, right? Like this one is kind of a dud. I threw it for a little while, but I kind of got sick of it. So that one's coming out of the bag. I'm going to replace it with a couple of these new putters. I think. I don't really have another flex putter, so maybe I leave this in. Although I can't tell you a situation where I need it right now. So putters. These three in the anode, maybe. These four putters. You see all my mids. This is actually a fairway driver, but you see I have a lot of mids, but I use different ones for different things. Fairway driver, 7-speed, underworld, 6 glide, -3 turn. This one's a little hard to throw, to be honest with you. It doesn't quite do what the numbers would indicate it should do. I have thrown it well at times, but it doesn't really hyzer flip the way I think it should. I might be trying to overthrow it. I'm gonna try throwing it as a standstill shot and see if I can do what I want it to do. I originally put this in my bag to replace a lost Maverick, but it doesn't really fly as well. I like the Maverick better. The Maverick can handle speed a little better. This is a Diamond. It's a very understable mid or fairway driver, lightweight. I can hyzer. I can throw a swooping anhyzer longer distance than this one, and I can roller this one. It's pretty much all I use it for. This is an Essence, an 8-speed fairway driver. This is a real workhorse for me. I use this disc a lot. There are days where my distance drivers aren't working, but this thing is. I'm not sure why. This is a good disc for me. This is my Thrasher, 12-speed, 5 glide, -3. I have thrown this disc considerably further than any other disc in my bag. I've hit my farthest throw ever is 430, 428 actually. I got this on a perfect hyzer flip, and then it faded out. My next highest throw, farthest throw, is only 390. So this is significantly further. This is a good disc for me. I use it a lot. This is a sword. It's a 12 speed, 5 glide. I have not really mastered this disc yet. Might be a little fast. It definitely kind of just hyzers for me right now. Maybe I need to try throwing it on an anhyzer angle and see if it flexes out. These are my two definite overstable. I use them for spike hyzers. I do flex this one, do throw this one on an understable, or I'm sorry, on an anhyzer. This is my Latitude Halo optoplastic. I found this disc and my Thrasher at the same, like on, I think it's hole 10 or hole 11 at Hudson Mills Original. They were sitting next to each other, kind of tucked under some grass in the open field. I found these two discs, and they're two of my favorite discs. This is my other, I use this one for exclusively so far, well, that's not true. I use them for spike hyzers, which I can throw this about 320 on a spike hyzer. It was pretty good. This is a MVP Relativity, and I use it for skip hyzers too. I can skip this one pretty good. It's nice and flat. This is a good disc. And these are my two kind of, this is my hero disc stamps. This is called a Warrior. I don't know if this one has a name, but it's actually a Vulcan from Innova and a Colossus. 157 grams, 150 grams. I can bomb these. I've thrown this one, I can consistently hit 350, and I've thrown it as much as 390. And this one it's actually more understable, and I can get it to S-turn. I've thrown this one pretty far too, on especially if you have a little bit of tailwind. If you can throw it on a, this one is a little understable, so actually I throw this on a hyzer angle. I can get these to both flex exactly the way I want them to, so they stay in the bag for now. So I find something else. All right, so taking a few discs out, replacing it with a few other discs, and we'll find out what happens. Very good. So I'm going to put this in place of, I guess I'll say I'm going to put it in place of my, I think I still need another, maybe I'm unsettled on my understable fairway. I guess I'll just use the Essence for now and try to get that Underworld to work. Because I really don't want to throw the Stratosphere. All right, that's it. So the PD is definitely going in the bag. This, these two are probably going in the bag. This is the Splice, and this is the FD3. Those are probably going in the bag. We'll see about some of these others. Thanks.